Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is June 20th, 2021. Happy Father's Day to everyone, to all fathers. How was your weekend, Howard?
I was good. Everybody left me alone, except you. I did this Momentum Monday show, and my hair seems to be, it's like a slight mohawk here
Yes.
for some reason. And I've lost control. It's one of the worst trends in the world right now is my hairline.
You should be happy
Short.
if you have it, right?
No, I'd be short, my hair. All right, did you watch any of the golf?
No, sorry, I didn't have time. I watched some basketball actually, Suns and Clippers.
Yeah, I had like side-by-side Suns US Open. It was a good week.
I think Suns are looking amazing. I think they're going to win this is the first time I watched them. They're looking really good.
A very good team. Yeah. This Booker kid is a good player. They didn't have Chris Paul today, and they still look pretty good. But the Clippers didn't have Kawhi, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Anyways, take me through it.
So I think right now we might be seeing the unwinding of the so-called inflation trade. If you look at what's going on in the market, because all the pro-inflation sectors like financials, basic materials, like the S&P 500 in general, the Dow Jones, all those sectors, indices that benefited from higher inflation expectations from February to May were under pressure last week. And in the meantime,
commodities got freaking annihilated.
Yes.
And maybe crypto led them this time by crashing
yeah, of course. Obviously, if the Fed is saying that they're ready to raise interest rates in 2023 instead of 2027, the market.
Is that what they came out and said? I can't believe this is what people.
Something like this, but I mean, obviously, it's ridiculous. They don't intend to raise them anytime soon, and they're just playing a game, an expectation.
So the materials gave back most of their yearly gains, but still having a good year.
Yeah, commodities.
I guess that's why tech was strong. I know we took that Shopify last week, and then
exactly. So anything that was hit because of those rising inflation expectations, which is mostly software and clean tech, has had a pretty big bounce in the past couple of weeks. And it's not just Shopify. I mean, if you go through the list of all software names, you see many of them are up like 20, 30, 40%. So it's pretty obvious what's going on. That's why I'm saying it's the unwinding of the inflation trade. I don't know how long it's going to last, but this is what's currently going on. Because on Friday, you saw how weak the SPY and the Dow Jones were in the small caps. All of them broke below their 50 days. But if you look at the software stocks, I mean, most of them were on fire, even on Friday when the general market was weak. So this is
it's hard for me to play, and you're a swing trader, it's hard for me to continually position. So I've decided to just stick with software, and it was a good week. I didn't notice the sell-off Friday. I was ugly. Was Goldman hit too? Were all the banks hit?
All financials. They're all, it's all the same trade. It's basically the same trade. It's the inflation trade, and now it's unwinding. Like basically that's
massive volume. So I think it could be a tough summer for the inflation trade. And by the way, people are outside. I mean, San Diego was bananas. The flights are booked. People, my family everybody was running around the world this week, and flights were packed. Restaurants were busy. It's nice. I mean, listen, San Diego, I didn't see a mask all weekend. Did you? I mean, it's
less and less. Things are starting to go back to normal.
Coronado's a zoo. And I say that just based on walking the street, Main Street, and parking in front of my house. For those people that are doing that just to take pictures of my house because they know me, it's not funny. Especially if they moon me. A lot of people just pull up, moon me, and then take off. Ivan, are you giving out my address?
Yes, every day.
All right, well, stop. Just because you know where I live doesn't mean everybody should know where I live. All right, so the inflation trade-off, I wonder, so did gold get hit too?
Yes, gold and silver also.
They were setting up nicely.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
significant.
Oh my goodness, they gave back everything.
Gold and the miners as well.
Yeah. I can't trade these things. That's why I just gave up a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't care. So if the inflation, this will be your last chance. If the inflation trade is real, this summer will be a shakeout. Um, and very interesting.
Yeah. So right now, I
That's
mean,
kind of bullish in my opinion, because if like that was a hell of a trade for people that held that trade, and this will be a scary. That was a quick sell-off. I don't know.
well, I'm going to repeat what I'm saying every single week. Capital is not leaving the market; it's just rotating.
Yeah.
Obviously, the U.S. dollar and U.S. Treasuries rallied. That played a big role from that exodus
Oh, rates dropped pretty hard.
from the inflation sectors and groups.
Yeah. Oh man.
That played a role.
That trade is just that trade definitely scared. That trade is definitely reversing hard. Huh.
As of right now. And when the last time when the dollar rallied, like in March, and stocks had like a 5-6% pullback, and then eventually they reversed higher. So this is what's going on. It's a stock pickers market right now, and while the S&P and the small caps are kind of under pressure, consolidating their gains from early in the year, the Nasdaq has retaken the leadership role.
As it should. I mean, the millennials. Yeah. I mean, I'll pull up a couple names that look good again. I own them, but Twitter looks good. Hate them. Full disclosure, I hate them, but the stock looks buyable here.
Okay.
It's still the most apt, it doesn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, not great, but decent. Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, all of them, like anything that was hit, like over here in April, May, when people were freaking out about inflation, is now recovering. And if you go through the entire tech sector, like all the social media software companies, all of them are kind of recovering right now, looking strong, and all the interesting.
And what happened with like Square, PayPal? If so, what happened
All
to
of them, yeah, those two are setting up.
So that's interesting. See, the financials pull back, but Square setting up, PayPal.
But they're not really financials. They're more like tech and
You
software.
know what I mean, though. But they're a layer. They don't even have the same margins as the actual fintech. What about Visa, Mastercard?
They're just calling a little bit better, but basically in a range. So nothing's going on there.
And then what about international? A lot of my hedge fund friends are talking Jumia, JMIA in Africa.
First of all, that's a German company. It's a
brothers.
They have zero growth. So how can you be the Amazon of Africa? And I understand no profit, that's fine. But where is the sales growth? This is ridiculous. If you don't have sales growth, you're not the Amazon of Africa. I don't know where are you, Overstock or eBay.
All right. So what else looks good in tech? Just everything.
Anything software looks good. Anything. I mean, you mentioned Square and PayPal. What else?
What about biotech?
Some of the biotechs are also starting to look good.
Software.
Obviously, biotech was the worst hit sector during all that inflation scare, and now we're starting to see it kind of setting up above its 50-day.
Yeah, and if you go the monthly, it's digesting those huge gains of the last 3-4 years before. It's just gone sideways no. So it had that big breakout in 2020.
And then it tested it. So.
Yeah. And what about the medical instrument IHI, which I own? Let's pull that up. Just checking on my portfolio since I have you.
Yeah, it's looking good. Definitely looking good. It'll pull back on Friday, but overall, it's kind of setting up again. Let's take a look at some of the names. iSurgical, I mean, setting up all-time highs.
What a great company.
Align Technology, it's building a new base here. If it clears this level here, 615, 616, it might run to 650 or higher. What are some of their names? Swave, above its rising 20-day.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Kind of near all-time highs.
Yeah. So medical instruments. There you go. Yeah. The
I
interesting.
mean, semiconductors were hit on Friday. Like out of all the tech stocks, semiconductors definitely acted the weakest. I mean, obviously still above the 50 days. So compared to the S&P and Dow Jones, are holding better. But the weakest group within tech, I don't know why, but that's
Oh, my dog's
this.
losing her mind. Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, she's long semiconductors, so she's not happy. Um, but AMD actually not looking bad. Breakout on Thursday, consolidation day on Friday. Nvidia has been on a big run. I think they're ever since they announced that, what was it, 4-to-1 split or something like this. They've been on
Yeah,
a.
so if tech pulls back here, we'll get a real summer sell-off.
Yes, that's basically the only thing that is looking
And,
good
and
right now.
volume's light. Like I can see message volume on StockTwits. Everything's kind of, people are just back to living their lives right now and deciding if they got to go back to work 3 days a week. So there's all that stuff going on amongst, my daughter who's living in New York. She's like, when is it okay to go? Are you going 5 days a week? StockTwits is having people 3 days a week. There's a reality that people got to get back to work. Zoom's great at some level, but like there is some reality where most companies, for productivity or if you're growing, not everybody can scale, hire 20 new people and just integrate them on Zoom. Oh, DocuSign. So there's the COVID stocks breaking out. So DocuSign obviously digesting their COVID gains, and obviously it's a thing. It's going to be around forever. And this is a company that people struggled with getting above 10 billion, and here it goes. 50. It's not cheap.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, pull up Peloton. I got my Peloton, Ivan.
congratulations. Are you using it?
And I've done four. I got a 4 streak going. I got 4 days in a row. It really is. I mean, I'm not convinced that I need to see people yelling at me. So far, I've listened to a podcast on the side, but it really is an amazing product, I have to say. So not quite furniture yet, but I got a streak of 4 going. I shouldn't have used my real name. People are saying hello to me on Peloton. That's kind of weird. It's like Facebook meets Sweat. So I don't know. I think I made a sign up mistake there. But I think I'll know more in about 6 months if I keep it. But it's really amazing how big a social network that is. I was in a ride. There was 20,000 people.
Wow, that's insane.
That's insane at like 8 in the morning.
Just use my name. No one's gonna bother you.
What's that?
Just use my name. No one's gonna.
You're more famous than me.
Yeah, right.
Just because you're aloof and distant. So people are like, if I said I'm Ivanhoff, people would just harass. I'd probably get some nude photos of women sent to me. Because you're built like an Adonis. All right. So is there any new names? I know that there's a lot of smaller.
I mean, there are a lot of there's some new IPOs that are kind of looking interesting, speculative. I don't even know what they do.
Artificial intelligence. That's all you need to say. I mean, what about security software? That everybody's gotten hacked. Signet got hacked last.
The whole sector is looking constructive.
That looks like a good setup. I finally bought a few shares myself.
Yes.
Just to keep an eye on it. Yeah, this cybersecurity
is building a new base. What are some of the other names? I mean, they're not as popular.
Zscaler.
Yeah, Zscaler is looking amazing. CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Okta, all of them are looking really good. As I said, all of the software names.
Well, Cloudflare probably the best. NET.
Amazing. Like if you go through a whole list, like
Atlassian broke out.
All year 52-week highs. What else?
Cloudflare looks great too. NET, which I've owned forever.
Which one?
NET.
Oh yeah, that absolutely.
I hit all-time highs.
All-time highs. Even some of the ones that get hit really bad, they're kind of starting to set up again for.
Yeah, but that's more of a roll-up, and you can just see people want pure growth. So Cloudflare, people want stuff that they're not hacked together with acquisitions. If you want that, you can get a SPAC, obviously. CrowdStrike looks good. So all right, so it's just a boring rotation trade. Interest rates settling down, inflation fears settle. All right, so we'll check in next week. I think the key is, like you said, if tech holds, it's just a rotation. If tech gives way, we'll have a nasty sell-off this summer, I think. And we'll
Or
see.
if we have a sell-off, they'll probably vote for like a $5 trillion infrastructure bill, so the market will bounce again. So the dips will continue to get bought, I think.
All right, there you have it from Ivan. Dips until further notice,
Yeah.
the dips are going to get bought. All right, have a great week.
All right, you too.